Just making a quick video for a lot of the 7th gen Civic folks. A lot of them don't really know how to actually install a aftermarket steering wheel or how to remove the stock steering wheel off of their '04 Civic, or just install what I have is an Rsx steering wheel. Now, with the Rsx steering wheel, you have to understand that the one thing that won't line up with your stock setup on your car is the cruise control. A lot of folks say that you should actually just splice the wires that come from your car to the cruise control, because you will see, if I have the stock, have it somewhere, give me 1 second here. So here is the stock Acura Rsx cruise control. Now that is much larger than this little fella right here. You could always try to modify it so you can get the stock cruise control module to fit the Rsx steering wheel. But the only issue is that this piece, the cutout piece that this actually disassembles from, does not actually fit the stock steering wheel of the Rsx. You could try wiggling in, but it won't actually work. But I'm going to try to make a little cutout so this actually goes right in. But the bolts do fit the Rsx harness here, or the Rsx assembly. So I'm going to go ahead and show you really easily. You're going to need what fits this, and as you can see, I've had a little bit of difficulty because it's torqued on really well. We're going to need a screwdriver that'll fit that. It's like a hexel. Don't really know what you call it. It's like a hexagon sort of shape or star sort of shape. I don't know the scientific term or the mechanical term for it, but you have two of them, and they're located both where's the steering wheel here? So there's a cruise control. You're going to disassemble them with a Phillips screwdriver. Two of those go undone. And there's one that actually sits right in that one right there I took out. And on the other side, the exact same thing right there. When you get that done, you go ahead and pop out the airbag, which is right over here. Just make sure though that the car is totally disconnected from the battery and no powers to the car at all. Then you're going to go ahead and undo this bolt. But before you do that, just make sure the steering wheel is straight. I already disassembled my steering wheel before. My only issue was that I actually didn't put it on straight. And as you can see, this is my car straight. So it's really fucked up. You learn and you learn from your mistakes, right? So very simply, disassemble, disconnect the little tab over here. And you just... Ow, disconnect that. That just fell because it's already been loose. I'm going to go ahead, push the pin for the ground. A lot of people actually don't know where the ground is on the Rsx steering wheel, but I actually happen to find it on the ground for the Rsx airbag. That's very simple. Then you're going to go ahead and undo that, and I'm going to go ahead and come right back to show you what else happens. So we're going to go ahead, undo the threaded bolt here. What we're going to do afterwards, you know, I can live without the cruise control, but not for long. What happens here is very confusing for a lot, but you just have to sort of wiggle it, pry it off, and it comes right out. Now, before you want to pull off the steering wheel, you want to be very gentle with all your wiring. So you're going to go ahead, try to tuck it out, and line it up so it comes right out of this little gap over here. So as you're pulling it off, nothing is snagged, nothing is pulled. I'm doing this one hand, it's really difficult, but I've already done this before, so I'm going to go ahead and just do this the best I can. Right, so here's a stock steering wheel. We're going to throw that aside. The SI steering wheel is actually quite nice, but I really like the Rsx a lot more. So, I realized from my mistake that I shouldn't do that. I'm going to line it up straight now because this is how the car should be. The wheels are already straight. You're going to try to line that up, send it right through that hole, and I'll show you what happens next. Okay, now with the steering wheel lined up, just make sure you fed through all the wiring. Make sure the back end, there's a plastic piece with the two prongs there. Just make sure it lines up perfectly even. And now that my wheel's straight, I should be fine. The ground on this, for the horn I think it is, or the airbag, for power, I don't know what it goes to. Again, I haven't read up on this. I'm just doing this from whatever seems right to the eye. The RSX steering wheel will have a ground. Here it is, right here. So as you can see, Acura. There's a little spot for it right over here. So that black piece goes right up to there. The cruise control, you have to figure it out, but the airbag does line up perfectly fine. Now, the cruise control we'll figure out in a bit, and I'll let you know what I find out. Now, I tried my best to figure out a solution, and the only possible thing I can think of is you could try to cut out a little bit of this to make it fit in, but without worrying about doing that, you might be able to disassemble this entire piece that's glued or sort of fitted onto your stock cruise control set, and try to remove that and put it into the housing of the RSX one. Now, I'm not going to bother looking into it right now. I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to do all the basics. If you really care about cruise control, I'll try to figure out a solution to it, and I'll get another video posted for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and interrupt here because I sort of figured it out now. I don't know if this is going to work, if it's going to work as the same power source. But you can go ahead and remove this out of your stock cruise control, which I will show you. I went ahead and did for my stock Civic cruise control here. Just two little golden screws that are located right up here. And when you go ahead and release that, just make sure that it's lined up, and there are the screws right there. They're very tiny. Just use a very simple screwdriver. This is how it looks like. Just with a little bit of very simple movement, you can get them loose. They come right out, and just line it up with the RSX one, and you would be good to go, I would hope. The connections for these seem to line up no problem, so I'm hoping this will work, and it should, because it's just a housing, and that connector will actually definitely connect to that green one right there, and I'm very happy to know that. So I'm glad. So put that all back together. To show you guys I got everything connected, make sure that's torqued down, make sure it's all aligned. That airbag does get connected. The ground for everything gets connected right there. The cruise control should be just put into that little spot there. You just want to make sure nothing gets pinched. That airbag, there's a little spot for it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this will go right into place like so. You're going to go ahead, you're going to take this, you're going to try to connect it. Oops. Go ahead and try to get it right into there without any headaches. And it should click right in like so. Boom. She's in. And you're going to go ahead and get everything nice and snug. Make sure that is visible like so. And you're going to go ahead and bolt everything back up. Very simple. This doesn't take very long. The only reason why I'm out late right now, you can probably see like there's no one out right now. I just can't sleep, so I'm going to go ahead and put this all back together. So I went ahead and used, you could try using a T30. I don't even know what that really means. Or a 1/8 size pattern. That's the one I use right there. And with a screwdriver, very simply, you can go ahead and hand tighten them back in. I wouldn't recommend really over torquing them. Just put it to specs. I hand tighten it because I just want to get a feel for how it is right now. But other than that, very simple. You just go ahead. You can put back the stock cruise control if you wish. But I figured out a little bit of a solution. I'm going to try to go ahead and do that, but I'm going to go throw everything back on so you guys get an idea and sense of what you're really supposed to do, because I haven't really seen any videos on how to do this. And so. Where it used to be naked, just go ahead and throw back the plastic covers. Very simple. Just clicks right on, and she's good. And throw on this other little piece right over here, which goes right on top of that. You have to figure out how this motherfucker goes on. Excuse my French. And looks like she wants to go on, but I'm not going to force it because these motherfuckers are probably... There we go. Boom! I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, yeah. There you go. She's all in. It's great. Looks very good.